My dad was like, I was more afraid of my dad's bell than anything. So that kept me out of trouble. When you young black men without fathers get into a lot more trouble.
Have y'all ever seen Living Colors? Oh my God. When she is doing that Crystal Waters. Oh my God. Why is that so funny to me?
I'm gonna become a really big star with little talent.
You're right.
Not much talent. The truth is, I'm just a wannabe. I should be homeless. I should be homeless. I'm making millions. Isn't that funny? Ha ha ha. I'll never run out of songs, 'cause I just bought cable. 100 channels. And now it's endless. The hits are endless. HBO and TV, TBS and A&E, CBS, pay-per-view, Scooby-Doo, where are you? Happy days and overdue.
All right, but anyways, you guys, a subscriber, his name is Damon. He sent us a clip of, is that Marlon Wayans? I think it's Marlon. Wayans, so many Wayans, I can't even get them together. Anyways, he sent us this clip, so let's just look at this clip real quick.
When you grow up in the hood, we can all be gangsters. I watch do my whole life. When you grow up in the bricks, you know what it is. I know Rikers serving life that I grew up with, that I used to play in the playgrounds with. I just chose not to go to that park with them. I went somewhere else. I chose to do other things. My mother was like, street lights come on, bring your black upstairs. My dad was like, I was more afraid of my dad's bell than anything. So that kept me out of trouble. When you young black men without fathers get into a lot more trouble. A mother is different than a father. A father will strike fear in your mother, you could argue with. At a point, a boy, 13, 14 years old, Ma, I could take you. You can't take me. Those slaps don't work. Those belts don't hurt.
Okay, so when we got sent this, it just said, thoughts on this, ladies? Thoughts on this is absolutely correct.
He's right.
He's right, and I think that
he's right. Mothers are much different parenting skills than fathers are, and that's, again, we're talking about nature. There is just an intimidation factor that a father has that a mother just doesn't have. I mean, I think women think that they're disciplining because they can get real loud and they can yell at their kid, but really, after a while, kids, that goes in one ear and out the other. Like, just to yell at your kid all the time. There is a certain difference when a man, but I'm also not a boy. But I'm saying, as far as boys are concerned,
I mean, I'm just
you know what I mean? I can imagine that a young man who has his father around and is raised with this big man who's in comparison to him. He's a big man. I don't care if the guy's 5'2", to a child. This is a grown man with grown man muscles, grown man mentality, look, stare,
it changes
and everything.
things.
And men don't play. They don't. A lot of women, they'll say, you better do this or you better do that. You can kind of negotiate with moms, but with dads, they do what they say what they mean.
The only thing that really ever works for mothers is when they say, "You do what I say, or else." I'm gonna tell your dad.
But when you're talking about little boys, though, he's right. At some point, you're gonna be bigger than your mom, and that's usually gonna be at like 12 and 13, not even at 18.
So the person that sent us this clip, he wrote thoughts on it, but he also said that I guess wherever he found this clip at, the comments under the clip, there was a lot of like single moms that were on there, and they were saying, this is absolutely incorrect. My son doesn't cross me whatsoever. He better not do this. I have never had that. My son, respects me like he would if he had a father. I'm like, no. I'm gonna go ahead and bet no. I'm not in your life, but I'm gonna go ahead. When women say that, it's because they're realizing that there is a lack somewhere, and don't want to admit that possibly they could be overpowered by their sons.
I just don't understand why we're always trying to pretend like men don't matter.
Why are we doing this?
Why are we always doing it? Just admit that. You have a time. Why would you try? Why are we always trying to make it seem like we have all these well-behaved children?
Men matter. Men fathers matter.
So my thing is that she's right. When it comes to boys, Jay-Z said that, though, before he got shouted down and started changing his tune. He was the one who said that if you don't, because he was raised by a single mother. So he said, when you don't have the authority in your house, then that's why a lot of young black men go to jail, because once they go out in the streets and then they get the police authority. They don't understand to respect authority. So once they can't do it with their mom, once they go out on the street and authority comes to them, they usually fight authority or
that's
run
interesting.
from authority.
That's a very interesting. I feel like that's a very good point Jay-Z made. Too bad he's talking differently now. Yeah. But that is a very good point. Honestly, I never really thought about it that way, because if they don't have any authority figure in the house, they don't respect authority.
Right.
So of course they get caught up in the street life, and then police officers are authority figures. So they won't respect him, and they end up getting locked up because they're not respecting authority.
Single moms. A lot of times, single moms use their sons as their low-key boyfriend.
They do,
and so because they don't have a man, and so they end up letting their son get away with murder with things.
I know.
A lot of times, and so like he said, once you can get past that with your mom, and then you go out on the street, then some form of authority tells you to get home or do this, and then you protest, and now it's a man.
And now we're fighting
with a gun.
Yeah. Now what?
You know what I mean? And it's just like, so he's right, because he said, like he said, after a while those belts don't hurt. From a woman. After a while, those belts. Remember on Little House on the Prairie when that that guy, they got the man teacher over the woman teacher,
and that's a good episode.
That big farmer boy came in, his hands were calloused, and that ruler wasn't working anymore.
Yeah, the teacher's like trying to hit him with a ruler. Like the kid's a farmer. He's like 17, and his hands are calloused. And he's like, "This ruler is you're trying
to." This man's trying to hit him with a ruler, like he's 8 years old, and he's just getting hit, and he just looks at him and laughs. Because see, after a while, boys become men.
Well,
they become men a lot quicker than 18.
Well, in their teenage years,
right? Like I'm talking about their hormone levels and stuff. They become like men a little quicker, and so there's only so much your mother can slap you. For it to then still ever hurt.
Yeah. So single moms trying to get out of there.
But if your man, your husband, your father can be 30, and if he hits you, and I don't care if you're 18, it's gonna hurt. You know what I mean? It's gonna, because you get hit by a man, not a woman.
Right. I was really like, I went, because we had our mom, and she was pretty scary. I'm like, because we're girls, so she could have some type of authority over us. I mean, like I would get nervous. My mother, I would be nervous. Yeah. When she would give certain looks and stuff. Like we didn't cross. My mother told us that when we were younger, we weren't bad. Yeah. And we weren't.
We didn't get whippings all the time.
Yeah, we didn't get whippings stuff like all the time. So I feel like I just never want to cross my mom. Like, I was a little scared of her. She can be a little scared of your parents.
But that's the point of the whipping. The whipping isn't so that you get beat every day. The whipping is you get a good one. Yeah. And then you get the point. Right. Like he said, I was much more afraid of my father's belt than I was actually anything else. Yeah. And that's the point. His father's not going to beat him every day. But the point is that he was more afraid to do mischief with his friends in a park. He was more afraid of his dad than to maybe get in trouble. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it kept him out of trouble. The fear of God and his dad gave
we're diminishing the role of fathers and men.
Fatherhood is important.
And masculinity in men. What we're doing right now is just ridiculous.
And that's what I like, this feminization of men. They should show their feelings. No.
Shut up.
Men have a stance. They have a stance and a way to be, and it's important.
But yeah, I like what he has to say there, and I think that we have to stop diminishing this role with men. But see, this is again why we're always talking about patriarchy, and women get really upset when we talk about that.
The Wayans family is a good example, because I think they have one sister, and the rest of the 9 of them are. I think there's 11 of them. Yeah, 10 or 11 of them, but only their sister is the only girl. But that means he has 9 or 10 boys. Yeah, you can't let. Yeah. You have that boys get away. You have to be hard on boys to teach them to be men, because they'll be happier if they can be strong. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I agree with this, and I just think that the feminization of men and this whole idea that men should be showing their feelings all the time like women, we're going to have a hard time. I mean,
blurred gender roles.
Again, I hate to bring him up because I always do. Jason Whitlock, when Vodi Bakum was on there, and they were talking about this whole situation. He's like, the problem is with all these women being matriarchies, there's got to be someone has to be able to rein in a young boy. Yeah. He's just and the only one that can do that is a man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's a grown man, not a woman. He said then they showed a video of a bunch of these kids in these bad neighborhoods shooting each other. He's like, women can't wrangle that in. Right. It's true. He said, now we're looking for men to fix this. Mm-hmm. And now there's no men around. It's just a bunch of mothers and a bunch of out of control young men in a bad neighborhood. And this is what happens when 90% of a neighborhood is single moms.
You'll see a bunch of out of control men.
Because some are boys and men. Some are going to be boys. And you're going to see sexualized girls.
Yeah. This is what happens, though, you guys. What happens. And it's a problem. It's a problem. This is why they always say, though, that if you're going to be raised by just one parent, it probably should be a father.
The father, yeah.
And then that's I'm not even sure there's any. I think there's a study on this.
Well, they said that it's not. A single fatherhood is not better than a 2-parent home. The 2-parent home is the gold standard for children. Yeah, he was just like, but they said it's a little bit better than single motherhood only because men can provide and because of structure.
Yeah. They're able to give. Right. Well, that's who they are.
That's who they are. Yeah. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I do agree with that, and that makes sense to me because if you're raised with just a mother, just the woman, well, we know there's no study that needs to be shown with that. Mm-hmm. What we see, what's happened when we are in a society full of single mothers. Mm-hmm. A lot of kids do well. Most have a very difficult time. And so I know because I'm saying that because I know someone's going to say, I'm a single mother and my child went to college and he respects me and she's in a...
He's an actor.
And like you guys always know, it's like a broken record, but we always operate.
But I mean, you don't even need to. But I'm just saying that you can see the evidence.
Yeah,
come on, let's stop playing games. We can see the evidence. We got a lot of unruly kids out here who just don't have enough parents at home.
Right. Everybody trips me out thinking everybody trips me out thinking they're the exception to this rule. Like no, all of these single mothers with these kids that are being bad out here. Everyone's not the exception here. Clearly, the rule has become kids running rampant and getting to destructive behaviors. We've seen it. Stop playing the game. Like, this is stupid.
Which is why we're not single mothers. I won't have a child without a father.
No, I can't. I don't want to do that.
I never wanted that, and my mother did a good job on, telling us that. She's like, this is not a good thing. This is not a thing to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. You do need men in your life. Yeah. Fathers make for good protection and good father, heads of homes.
I loved hearing about Patrick Bet-David. Andrew Tate was on his show a little while back. It was that 5-hour interview he did with him. And Andrew talked for a good amount of time about his relationship with his dad. Like he says that it's without my father being so stern and so strict and like expecting excellence out of me, you know what I mean? And my brothers, that was like the most important thing to him. He's like, and to a lot of people, it may seem like, that is, rude, mean. It's mean, it's abusive. He said it's not. When men are like that with their sons, it is not abusive behavior.
Well, because the world is tougher on men.
Than they are on
women. You know what I mean? Yeah. If a woman is homeless, she can go to a homeless shelter. When men are homeless, it's really hard for them to find help. I said this the other day.
What?
There was this pastor. No, it wasn't. It was Josh Hawley. He was on Jason Whitlock. Sorry, I always watch Jason Whitlock. He's a good show.
Yeah.
But Josh Hawley was the representative of Missouri, and he has a new book for manhood. Anyway, he was telling Jason that they were talking about the black neighborhoods and what's happened to the black neighborhoods, and he said Jason said if you could just put a black man back in every house. He said no, if you could put a black man in a neighborhood, a father in a neighborhood changes everything directly. And Jason was like, wow. He's like, no, that's just the studies. If a black father is actually in a neighborhood, he said it changes the trajectory of the crime.
Yeah,
that's almost half.
Yeah. That is very true.
And I found that to be that's the power of a man. But see, that's what I'm saying. I thought that was good. I thought that was
a good idea. But you know what it is also is that the damage has already been done. So why not build from this point?
Right.
So having a male.
He said just having a father in a neighborhood.
There's some communities that have like these fathers that come together and it just I don't know. I just don't. I am never going to stop talking about the patriarchy. I swear, I'm never going to do it. It's extremely important. It's vital. It's vital. It's as vital as breathing.
Yeah.
Having a male you know, and men running the show.
And believe me, I know there are men who are bad fathers, okay? No, I'm just saying, I do know that all men aren't good fathers. Yeah. So I'm not suggesting that,
no, yeah.
You know, that every man is, no, there are really bad fathers, and they're part of the problem. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about the ones that actually raise you. Yeah. And believe me, a lot of kids that have a father and they have other friends that don't have a father, those kids benefit from knowing their friend's dad.
It's true.
It's just the truth.
So that just shows you that the father thing is important.
But we just watched a thing the other day, which I don't know. Remember, what was that thing that I showed you? All right, you go with your father. Yeah. And then they have like a physical like boot camp with your dad. And
if you don't have one,
they find you one.
They find you a
If you're a single mom and you want to send your kid to this thing,
they'll find you.
Guy who runs it said that they pair you up with either another kid and his dad, or they pair you with a man who's like donated his time.
Squire. What's it called?
It's called the Squire program.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll put their YouTube channel. I'll link their channel below. So
you should look at that. They have a lot of shorts.
Yeah. I'll link it below so you can see what they're all about. But that's a really good like idea, and I'm glad that's being implemented, because boys do need to understand what struggle kind of is, and victories too.
And they put them through physical stuff like ice baths. Right. With their father or their sponsor, and they make them deal with stuff emotionally. Yeah.
Go! There you go. Jaden, come on. You get yours? Your shoulders. No, you're not. No, you're not. I got you. I got you. I got you. Mental, Jaden. There you go. Mental. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Mental. Mental. Look at him. Mental. Yo, check. There. Got it. Come on. Yo, mental. Mental. My leg, Jaden. Damn. I got Jaden. Damn, I got you. Jaden. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Because these little boys, they want to get up and run. They want comfort. They want comfort. They want their mommy.
And life is sometimes a little uncomfortable.
And they say stuff to them. Oh, like some kid one of them said, some white kid, I can't remember. Anyway, he said, it's not fair, because they were pulling a truck or something. They have more people and we have less, or something like that. He said, really? You hear what he said? He said, this isn't fair. Yeah. He said, well, guess what? Life isn't fair. Right. And I thought to myself, this is a fantastic program. We need to have more of those all over. Right.
But yeah, you guys, let's know what you think about all of this. We're going to hear your thoughts on, just fathers in general and men specifically. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think? Don't you think fathers? I mean, it's important. Right? Yeah, it just makes sense to me. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And we will see you guys in the next video.